my last video about a mobile radio installation seemed pretty popular on the motorcycle, which is here behind me, all put away for the winter. So I figured I'd make another video about my four-wheel mobile setup. It's not exactly the optimum car for ham radio operation. You can see it's a little bit small. But I try to make the best use of the space as I can. Got, of course, GPS right there. And yes, that is a Miata on the display. Just like the one I'm riding in. Of course, it's got the top down. And here in the dashboard, instead of the stock stereo setup, there's a CD player that came with the car. There was a nice little pocket and insert right here. I took that all out, and I've had a couple different radios in here. At the moment, it's my Kenwood TM621A. I like 220 and had a chance to get back on, so there's this radio. And then the MP3 player right next to it there for when nobody's on the air and I just want to listen to some music. So that's for 2 meters and 220. It's a very snug fit inside the dashboard there. I had to redo a bit of the wiring inside actually because there's a metal bracket in there that the radio is pushed right up against. But and there's plenty of ventilation in back of it, but I had to move a lot of the wiring around just to make room for the radio. I couldn't get anything much bigger in there, but the important thing is when I'm shifting gears, my hand's not hitting the radio. So that was my real goal there. Funny thing about the TM621A is unlike most dual band radios, it actually has a separate output for an antenna for 2 meters and a separate antenna for 220. Probably because there aren't a lot of multi-band antennas out there that'll do both 2 meters and 220. Since I do have an antenna that'll do both bands, plus 440, I've just got a duplexer in line that connects to both of the outputs of the radio and then connects to the coax for the antenna. And that just that combines them back again so that I can use the same antenna on both bands. This radio has also been modified to crossband repeat, which is nice. And since I do have the duplexer in line, I have no problem transmitting on one band while receiving on the other simultaneously. So that's also a useful feature of having the duplexer and the one antenna there. Since the 2 meter 220 radio is in the dashboard, the speaker is kind of buried in there. I put an old realistic external speaker up here. It's just bolted to the rear deck. I've also got a Radio Shack HTX10 for 10 meters right here. 10 meters isn't very open today, but I've at least tuned in a beacon here. As you can see, I've just got the HTX10 kind of stuffed down between the passenger seat and the center console here. It's not bolted in or anything, mainly because I'm pretty much out of room for radios in this car. Because it's not bolted down, I take it out anytime I'm going anywhere remotely at risk of parking or theft or break-ins or anything like that. I simply detach the coax from the antenna. The power cord's right there. It comes out of the center console and just disconnects there. And I just take the radio inside and don't have 10 meters at that point. Power for both radios comes right from the fuse box where I've tapped into the circuit for the rear window defogger. The soft top doesn't have a rear window defogger. The car is wired to power one, but as you can see, this hard top also doesn't have a rear window defogger. It's a very, very early model that didn't have it, so There's absolutely nothing else drawing power on the circuit, so I can use its full 15 amps for the radio. And since it's very windy outside, I'll talk about it from in here. The center antenna, well, let's start over here. The antenna on the passenger side of the car is just the standard AM/FM radio antenna. The one in the middle here is my 10-meter antenna. It's the old Radio Shack CB antenna, mag mount, and I've trimmed it down and retuned it for the amateur 10-meter band. Works pretty well. SWR is down to about 1.5 to 1. I can't seem to get it any lower than that, but that's perfectly adequate. And between that and the HTX10 here, I've made contacts all over the western U.S., including one local one, actually. Got maybe about 20 miles away or so. And I think I did get through to Germany one morning on my way to work. 10 hasn't been all that open lately, but I'm looking forward to it opening up a bit more. And then over on this side of the car, I'll get you a better look at it from outside. It's an Austin Metropolitan. It's actually a tri-band antenna for 2 meters, 220, and 440. I don't have a 440 radio in the car at the moment, but I got this antenna because I couldn't find a dual band antenna for just 2 meters and 220, so I went with the tri-bander. As you can see, aside from the stock AM/FM antenna, both of the ham antennas are mag mounts. I haven't settled on a final configuration for this yet, so I'm leaving myself flexible to alternatives. I'm not opposed to drilling holes and mounting something permanently, but until I find something I know I'm happy with and is going to work well for both the 2 and 220 as well as 10 meters, I'm sticking with the mag mounts until I know for sure. And that's about it. Possibly the smallest mobile ham shack you've ever seen.